Would you rather date a 10 who drains all your energy or a 7 who brings you peace? Now, I usually don't describe girls by numbers like that, but for the sake of this video, I will be using numbers like 10s, 9s, 8s, 7s. But I haven't really talked about this much on my channel or any of the videos I've made about dating, and I want to talk about this a little bit. And what I really want to start off is by talking about the trap of choosing just based on looks. Now, I got lucky and I actually got a 10 who brings me peace. Now, I know that's rare, and it's not out there for everyone, and I get that. But my point of this video and what I want to my point that I want to push out is that you have to stop dating just based on looks, because I've noticed that a lot just off of, personal experiences, talking to some of my friends or just guys in general, and even some of the comments, emails I get. So men are biologically wired to be drawn to beauty. It's natural. And I'm not saying that you should be looking to date ugly girls. But what I'm saying is you have to stop just going for one specific type of girl, aka a 10. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, what would you rather have? A 7 that brings you peace and makes you feel whole and just makes you feel like a better man overall? Or a 10 that she entertains every man that's after her, and she just drains you, and she has nothing but problems, and she's very toxic, and she expects the world from you? It's just not worth it. Because if you only follow beauty, you can end up in chaos, such as drama, control issues, emotional abuse, disrespect. A beautiful face can't fix a stressed out soul. So, and I hear this too, like, especially more or less when I was growing up and younger, a lot of, whether it was my friends or just guys I was hanging around, they would not date a girl or want to do anything with her, not even go out on a date, whatever it is, for like just dumb reasons, like, oh, maybe she's, too fat, or they don't like blondes, or whatever the case may be, right? They're not, she's not their 10. But then they go home and they jack off. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's kind of gay, right? So you'd rather, instead of having an interaction, whether this is hooking up with her, dating her, I'm not saying you have to get into a full-fledged relationship with this girl, but I think it's kind of gay that you'd rather play with a penis than have an interaction with a girl, whether that's sexual or not. I think it's kind of gay. So I always kind of found that kind of weird to me. But, I want to keep this video more of dating-wise, not just hooking up and, jacking off, all those things. Now, back to the topic. What peace looks like in a woman. Peace is when she doesn't turn small things into wars. You can sit in silence without tension. You feel safe emotionally, not judged, and she also respects your time, space, and your purpose. Now, I'll break them down a little bit one by one. She doesn't turn small things into wars, which that basically means she's not looking for an argument. She's not looking for a fight. A lot of those girls that are quote-unquote 10s, they crave drama and attention because that's what their life is. That's what their life has always been about. So a lot of times when they're bored, they'll just start a fight for no reason. They'll pick any small little thing and they'll turn it into a war. And it kind of leads into the next point I talked about, is you can sit in silence without there being tension. I don't know the saying, but I know there's some type of saying where, you really know you're in love when you can just be with someone's presence. You can be happy and you can be fulfilled just by being in someone's presence. Like just you and your girl just sitting there in silence. You know, now I'm not saying all the time, but what I'm saying is you have a point where you guys can be with each other and be silent and everything be okay. Which that comes across of feeling safe emotionally, not being judged all the time. And also she respecting your time and your space and overall your purpose. She wants your time, of course, but she also understands that you have things to do. You want to be a successful person. You want to be a successful man. You want to accomplish things. So she lets you do that. Now, I'm not saying she's never supposed to be clingy, because I do think your girl, whoever you're dating or marrying, she should be clingy to an extent. So, but it's overall just she respects your time and she understands what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish in life. So now, how do you spot the difference? Well, you have to just really ask yourself, do I feel more calm or more anxious after spending time with her? And for some of you, that might have kind of bolted a light bulb in your head, because I'm sure you guys know the difference of when a girl makes you feel at peace and when a girl makes you feel calm. And that's an extremely important and an extremely telling sign. Because if you're always feeling anxious when you're with her, thinking about her, after you spend the day with her, it's probably not a good thing. But, you know, when you have the other girl where, you know, you just feel at peace and you feel, you know, just calm overall when you're thinking about her or talking to her or after spending the whole day with her, it's very important. And also, is she supportive or competitive with you? Can you be yourself around her? Because here's the thing, right? We're talking about dating. We're not talking about hooking up. This video is about dating. And at the end of the day, beauty fades and peace does not. Peace actually builds. So when you are looking to date somebody long term, you have to understand you can't just do it off beauty and looks alone, because eventually that's going to wear off. The people do not look the same as they do when they're 20 compared to when they're 70, 80, right? So you can't just date someone for that, and you have to stop focusing on that so much that, okay, in your head, okay, there's a 10 here, but an 8 here, or 7, whatever number you want to. Again, I don't use numbers really to describe girls, but just for the sake of this video, you use it as a measuring stick. But for you to have only in your head that you're only going to date 10s is just not realistic. And you're really limiting yourself and your dating pool to a very small number of women. And you really should not do that, because there's a lot of girls out there that might be 7s or 8s that you are missing out on because of your, you know, narrow point of view. So my overall message to you guys is, especially you young men out there, you know, you're building your life. Don't let someone's looks deteriorate or detour, let me use that word, detour your mission, because it's just simply not worth it. You know, it's not worth you throwing your whole life away and you just to stop building you as a man for just beauty, for looks. Peace will actually multiply your success. Beauty with chaos will just drain you before you ever reach your full potential. So choose the woman who helps you breathe, not the one who takes your breath and your focus. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments and thoughts down below in the comments. Yes, and if you enjoyed this video, I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.